Please stay tuned in for a special Coffin Club report.
Welcome, folks. I'm Dr. McNasty. As you, the viewer, may have noticed, things aren't quite right. Something is kinda off about today's episode, and I'm not talking about the set either. Unfortunately, we will not have silly animated intros with cheesy jokes and convoluted plots, or slightly off laugh tracks just for, well, laughs. Instead, we're going to talk about the hard truth that deeply affects our reality, especially the staff's reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep it transparent and blunt. The bullshit bill that passed in Tennessee last week that restricts adult cabaret performances in public or in the presence of children and bans them from occurring within 1,000 feet of any schools, public parks, or places of worship.
Tennessee became the first state to pass a law that will restrict drag performances on public property or anywhere a child could see them. Conservatives say drag shows expose children to sexually suggestive content, while performers here say the law is discriminatory and feels designed to push them back into the closet.
This law was passed alongside separate legislation that bans transgender minors in Tennessee from receiving gender-affirming care like puberty blockers, hormones, and surgery.
Children do not need these medical procedures as children to be able to flourish as adults.
Minors who identify as another gender won't be able to get gender-affirming medical care in Tennessee for much longer.
I-7716 names.
The bill banning the health care for minors is heading to the governor's desk after a final vote in the House.
As of a month ago, at least 9 GOP state leaders were pushing similar anti-drag bills. Those found violating these drag laws face a misdemeanor charges in the face of an instant punishment by fine up to $2,500 or up to a year in jail.
On April 1st, public drag will now be criminalized. This is an attempt to erase drag in Tennessee.
Those found for a subsequent violation face a felony charge punishable up to 6 years in jail.
There's this idea that if you expose a child to a drag queen, suddenly they're going to become queer. It's not vampirism. We cannot turn kids queer. We're not trying to turn anyone. We just want the queer kids to survive.
I know what you're thinking. Doc, why the hell are you telling me about this? Better yet, why do you even care? You live in Candle Cove, and you're straight. And a male. Well, honestly, man, let's just keep shit crystal clear. It's fucking wrong. It's hate. It sends a deadly message that encourages not only violence to peaceful groups in our community, but also, fun fact, Coffin Club Studios is currently based out of the Tennessee area as we speak. Guess what? Another fun fact. A huge majority of my family, including siblings, most of my friends, are proud members of the LGBTQ+ community. That also includes majority of my viewers, meaning you, and my fan base. Despite how pissed I am about the new anti-gay laws and that have been passed in effect, it doesn't matter. Because I'm a cis straight white dude from the Gulf, so as we say back at home, I don't have a duck in this race. So, I do have some good news. I decided to invite an awesome guest that is very well known around in the Middle Tennessee area and the Lower Kentucky region. To be honest, when I told people I wanted to do this story, there was only one name that came to my mind, and that is DIxie Normus. That's right, I invited a true local legend to interview in hopes of getting the true insights of the effects of, well, the heinousness of this new law. Also, to get her thoughts on this huge fucking issue. Let's just be real. I've already been talking to Miss DIxie Normus backstage a little bit, and we're just going to jump up into the, basic questions. DIxie, how long have you been doing? Hi. If you're seeing this, I probably fucked up. And by probably, it means I did. Unfortunately, I messed up the audio to the interview that I recorded previously, almost a month ago. I've done this interview. So you're probably wondering, Doc, why are you in the editing room? Why are you there? Well, luckily for me, despite all that, Miss DIxie Normus decided to, she decided to help me out, and we redid the interview. So I actually have some content for you guys to watch. We here at Coffin Club take this matter very seriously, and we really wanted to tell this story. So, roll that beautiful beam footage. Hello, DIxie.
Hello again.
Hello again. Thank you for doing this for me, by the way.
I have no problem.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep this one kind of short because I'm pretty sure we both have things to do, but I am going to ask you the same questions I asked prior. Like I asked prior, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. I was not expecting to be stuck in the rain today, but that's okay. It didn't mess my hair up.
Oh, yeah. The weather is pure crap, especially here on Riverside. It's just... It's no good, especially when you got mowing to do and you got very judgmental neighbors like I do.
Right.
All right. And as we discussed before, you started drag. Approximately, how long ago was it that you started doing drag, and what led you to do that?
I have been doing drag for 9 years. I started them with Austin P. They had a contest called Drag Idol, and I signed up for that, and I kind of prepped for it and gathered me a little group together to get myself together, and I did that contest, and I won, and ever since then, DIxie Normus has been just killing it here in Clarksville.
I do have one add-on question I always wanted to know. Was DIxie Normus your first go-to name, or did you have, like, trial names, like you wanted to use prior?
The first name I was going to use was Carmen Indigo. And I thought that would be kind of cool, but I don't know, it didn't feel like it clicked with me, and so I literally just went online and searched for funny drag queen names, and DIxie Normus came up, and I was like, you know what? That's who she's going to be.
Nice. All right, going through my questions list.
Sure.
All right, and prior to, as we discussed, and what my video will be discussing, the anti-drag laws that were took into place, what was life like? Did you really feel like there was much animosity towards the gay population or the drag population in general, or was it just everyday living? Like, what was that like for you?
Before this law saw daylight, in the drag community, that we didn't really have any problems, and we haven't had any problems. We've always been the first one to go to when there is situations like when the unfortunate and horrible Pulse shooting happened.
Yes.
The first thing that people did was go to the drag community, and we started putting on shows and helping raise money to support them and all those people there. And there's always going to be, not problems, but there's always going to be people who don't agree with drag, and they don't agree with it because they don't understand it. Drag is self-expression. Drag is excitement. Drag is a way to entertain people, and that's all it's ever been.
Since the law went into effect, also, just to counter to the question asked, have you seen any difference in, like, first of all, like, now what you do definitely has to be regulated differently in a different way for stupid reasons. But have you seen any difference in the culture, especially here in Clarksville, or at least that's where I'm at, and I know that you do frequent. Have you seen any difference in the culture? Has, like, people been, I don't know, more hostile, or have they been pretty much the same? Or...
here in Clarksville, there's not been a lot of hostility because our shows are mostly done in nightclubs and bars and other venues that are 18 and up anyway. And if we ever do a show that is an all ages, then we make sure that show is done properly to make not to offend anyone as far as someone that's under 18. Like we make sure our costumes are correct, we make sure our music is edited, and we make sure our performances are edited to that group as well. As far as hostility is being given towards us all over the country. Not
Yeah. All right. And I will say that, I haven't really noticed any difference, really, because I do also have friends who are also part of that demographic, and I haven't noticed any. Of course, I can't speak on their behalf because I am not, But I have noticed Cartersville is just kind of like a neutral zone, but at the same time, it's a dumb law.
I mean, they may not have reared their ugly heads, as some people say. There are people out there that don't agree with what we do, and they just don't agree with the queer community as a whole. But to those people, I say, what do I do in my daily life that affects you and offends you so much that you just can't go on about your life? Because whatever you're doing in your life, it doesn't offend me, and it doesn't bother me, and it doesn't change the way I live.
That's a really good answer. I like that. Also, what's your future for, obviously for this law to be, just thrown away in the trash because that's where it belongs. But what's your future for, not only the world of drag, but also for, the world of, different types of sexualities or different types of mindsets that aren't harmful whatsoever? What is your future for that?
My future for that is, it would be wonderful and it's rainbows and butterflies to think that everything would just be okay and everyone would smile and leave each other alone.
Yes.
That's not going to happen. There's always going to be queer people. There's always going to be drag queens. There's always going to be trans people. But we're still people. We're still human beings. We're still people who have feelings, and they think a lot of times that if they just pound us down enough, then we'll just go away. But we're not going to go away because we've always been here.
Yeah.
The queer community is always going to be here, and we're just here to exist, and we're just here to love the ones that we love and be in our daily jobs and be in our daily lives. No different than anyone else. Because of the person that I love, it may be the same sex as me or maybe the same, situation that I'm in, has nothing to do with anyone else's relationship.
Very nice. And also, thank you for stopping by and giving us that information. But before you go, is there anything you wish to promote or any quick shout-outs you'd like to give before you leave?
I would like to give a huge shout-out to Kings Bluff Brewery. They have become such a beacon in this community to be supporters of the queer community. Myself and Noel Cummings, we actually do a drag show with them every other month. And when we went in to speak with them in the beginning, they took us in wholeheartedly with open arms. And Dustin and Ashley and Jess, just everybody down there, I can't name them all, but they're such wonderful people. So I absolutely want to say thank you to Kings Bluff Brewery for not just being open arms to the drag community, but to all of us here in Clarksville. I don't think they get enough praise, and I know that they're those kind of people. They're just thank you, we don't need to be on a pedestal, but I want to put them on a pedestal, and I do want to say thank you so much for them. And also to the city of Paducah, Kentucky. Again, myself and Noel Cummings are going to be co-hosting Paducah Pride in June, and that's such a wonderful thing for them to ask us to do that and be a part of their community as well.
Alrighty. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and when I do publish this, I'll go ahead and put those links for both the event and, of course, the Brew & Co. here in town to give a quick shout out to them. But also, thank you again. You literally saved my ass. You have no idea.
I don't mind a bit. I wish I could have been a little more painted up, but I had so many things going on today. And like I said, I got stuck in the rain, and I was like, ugh, this
Yeah.
day gets the ball one tonight.
Yeah, but hopefully your day gets sunnier and you enjoy the rest of your evening. And once again, thank you.
And thank you also for doing this and being a part of our community and being a supporter of us and keeping us safe as well.
That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Wow, that was actually a pretty fun interview. As you can see, I'm back here in the editing room, getting everything all wrapped up. About to ship this video off to DIxie to get approved, to make sure it's up to her quality and taste, which that is important. But I just want to follow this up, since, you know, the 2 interviews I've done with DIxie, and since of all this, other drag queens have also stood out. For instance, the footage that I'm now currently showing shows footage of, you know, well, something as wholesome as drag queens gathering up to sing Dolly Parton songs in the protest for their rights. That's great. That's great. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if it really doesn't hurt you, why do you care? And if it does offend you, maybe you should figure out why it offends you and what maybe you don't know about yourself yet. Because in all actuality, if you see something sexual in a drag queen or something like that, that says something about you, not them. To them, they're just having a good time. To them, they're just having, you know, they're just trying to brighten people's day. So, like, I don't get it. And this is also, to be fair, a multi-parter. I wish to tell more about these kind of stories and more about these point of views from people who actually do exist in these worlds. And I know these are really alien and fucked up ways of saying it, but I'm literally hours into editing here, so give me some slack. No coffee in the world can make me feel right. But these are issues that currently people I love are dealing with right now. Despite, you know, the lighthearted nature of that interview, you know, there is some ugliness that is around that needs to be addressed. And as long as there's a Dr. McNasty, I want to make sure that voice is heard. So, I want to leave you guys off with, you know, a brighter note, a brighter future. Know that you guys are loved, and hopefully I'm loved by y'all. But if not, that's okay. I'm going to continue doing my job. On that note, I'm Dr. McNasty. Y'all continue being good people, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. Bye!